So, my dear friend Jane, when you're writing a crime novel, what comes first for you, the characters or the plot?
Everything starts with a character in a particular setting. Like Social Crimes was about New York society, Mortal Friends is about Washington society. And those two threads will hopefully weave a great plot.
I'm pretty much the same way. I come to my books now because I write a series with characters who are known to me. So I work very hard on picking the setting. For me, it's usually some aspect of New York City history that I like to explore. Janie, your world is so much more refined and elegant, and you're in all these wonderful places that just seethe with bad things happening. And I'm sort of much more on the street in the underbelly of the institutions and society than you are. And somehow we weave these stories that are great fun to read.
Yes, but the more elegance, frankly, the more underbelly.
As you show magnificently in Mortal Friends.
That's
That's what makes your books so fascinating to read.
So, Linda, how much inspiration do you draw from real life?
I draw a lot of inspiration from real life. I spent 30 years as a prosecutor in the Manhattan DA's office. So for me, the motives for which people did bad things, man's inhumanity and women's inhumanity to others, never ceased to fascinate me. And so I love to make up my own stories, but I really do like to pull from aspects of life that I've seen in creating the stories I tell.
My so-called real life has to connect with my inner life of obsessions, of which there are many. And I will see somebody, you know, or some incident involving someone, and I will focus on that. And it'll obsess me like a tune I can't get out of my head. And then I will aim my pen at them, for better or for worse. Usually for worse, I have to say.
And you do it so well.
Thank you.
It's a really fine weapon.
This is a compliment from a prosecutor, trust me. So do you know the end of the book when you start writing?
I begin with a victim and a motive for the murder, why that person was killed. And the very next thing I do is figure out who the killer is. I want that ending. I think it's my compulsion as a prosecutor to know that I am going to be successful in closing the case, that I'm going to have the right guy in the dock in the courtroom. And so then I work back and weave my story, lay in my suspects and my red herring. But as soon as I've got my victim, I've got my ending.
Linda, you're lucky because I have no idea what my ending is going to be. Well, sometimes I do. Like, my characters will tell me when I'm wrong. In Mortal Friends, for example, I thought the villain was somebody else for 3/4 of the book, and then suddenly the real murderer made themselves known, and I was quite shocked. But I think that's good for the book because the audience really probably won't guess who it is because the writer didn't, and then in the end it seemed inevitable. I hope it is.
Well, it certainly was a surprise to me in your book, and I think, you know, that's much the way it is for detectives. When they get to a crime scene, they obviously have no idea who the killer is. The witnesses begin to talk to them like your characters talk to you, and many, many times it is a complete surprise. So that technique serves you well.
Well, actually, you might have read a version where the killer was somebody else. In fact, I think you did.
I did, but I didn't guess that either.
Having read several versions.
This is the best version.
Thank you. Only because you helped me make it so.